Hello friends! So I have just finished my exams and done my Cambridge celebrations of jumping in the pool, being sprayed with kava. Insert pictures here. I've been waiting a long time to actually do this video, but it took me quite a while because exams and want to get your priorities straight. And I feel like it's a better time for me to talk about my Cambridge experience because it's after a year I can really consolidate my thoughts on it. This video is mostly for those who are considering their university options and waiting for their university to begin. So I hope this is helpful because to me, I remember when I was still waiting for my university to begin, I just thought all the YouTube videos that I tried to search for of international students, they either just didn't really cater to me or they usually didn't talk about certain topics. So I hope this video kind of helps you answer all these questions and allays all your concerns at the end. And to those who haven't seen me for a while, I got braces. So just a little context, I am actually born in Hong Kong. I'm Singaporean. I was raised in the Singapore education system. That's what got me here. Honestly, I still haven't really gotten to telling myself that or telling other people that I'm studying in Cambridge. My whole body just shudders when I utter that word, mostly because I still can't believe it even after a year. So anyway, let's begin. Yeah, I think the biggest topic or the most important topic which I want to talk about is race and culture. I'm Asian, specifically Chinese. Singapore is not in China, we are Southeast Asian, but most of us are Chinese. So in terms of talking to people and conversation starters, sometimes it is a bit awkward because you kind of understand people are from very different cultures and different backgrounds. But that also means that it can be very interesting, especially when you get to a point in your conversations really learning about how different people live halfway across the world from you. And because they're also in Cambridge, they have different stories. Clearly their lives are filled with very interesting experiences and it kind of takes a while for your conversations to get there. But at that point, especially in a big group, for dinners and such, I don't know, I find it very, very satisfying to hear about how other people live their lives and they're always interested on the politics of Singapore, that kind of thing. I know that sounds really nerdy, but sometimes it gets there and I like to talk about it sometimes because people don't really understand. And at the same time, I do like to listen to how their country works. It's just fascinating, yeah. And because of the different cultures, they also give very, very good recommendations of what to eat whenever you're traveling. But that's a later topic. So with regards to making friends, that's a very big issue for incoming students. In Cambridge, the interactions that you have with people really depend on which college that you choose to go into. And of course, it also depends on the course that you're studying. For instance, law or engineering. Because it will kind of affect the type of events that you will be exposed to or you'll be invited to. Usually just open thing or whether you want to go to. Of course, it will also depend on the amount of time you want to stay in your room, which I can admit sometimes I just want to stay here forever. But yeah, so for each college and course, there usually be a bunch of people, a committee or just a group of people who want to organize events for people to go to. All these different societies encourage mingling between the people, so you definitely won't run out of stuff to do here, and you just won't run out of events to attend to. It's just how much you want to attend or what you want to participate in, and how you organize your time / how you prioritize what's important to you in uni. Yeah, every other uni. It's mostly just whether you have the willpower to do so. Okay. In my opinion, as a course, the lawyers seem to have the most events that they have to attend to. Well, I'm not a lawyer. This is just my perspective. So, potential lawyers, you guys can look forward to it and check out other YouTube videos if they have about the law degree in Cambridge, because I think that's quite a big thing here. So if you're like me, on top of being an international student, I'm a little shy, I would say, and I have a resting, disinterested / judgmental face when I walk down the street. So it does take a little bit more effort, but when the conversation gets to that level, which I mentioned before, yeah, it's very interesting to me. And also, if you're most international students here, you probably have that group of friends or this friend that you have who are of the same nationality as you. I think that's pretty natural. And for Singaporeans here, and I know Hong Kongers, they have orientation in their home countries. So this to me is always like a good way to like meet people. Like just different types of conversation can just pop up because of like different topics or different activities that like were planned for you. And for other international students as well, like if you don't have orientation, there usually is like this club or society that is solely for like people of a certain nationality or people relating to like your country of origin. Like for me as a Singaporean, I have CUMSA, C-U-M-S-A, which is a Singaporean society founded by Lee Kuan Yew. From my perspective, the other way to make friends, besides like having orientation or besides like having a mingling session from like a certain event, is actually going out to clubs, which is basically our freshers week here. Swaps and formal dinners are also a thing here. So like a swap is basically when you have like two or a few groups of people from like maybe different colleges or different courses, and they just like swap and like meet each other or like one dinner. And then formal dinners are you guys have a dinner but it's like much classier and you guys are wearing jackets and blazers and whatnot. And at the end of those said formals and swaps, you eventually most likely go to a club because the drinking culture here is just really strong. Also, an important thing for you to make friends and for you to be notified of the events like everywhere in Cambridge is that you really need to download Facebook. And if you are like me, who only reactivated my Facebook like 1 month before the start of university, yeah, that's a problem. You should probably go check that out earlier because like notifications for all the orientations and stuff, they start from Facebook and they never end. The most curious thing, which I guess people would want to know, is like the accounts of racism here. For me, like there weren't any terrible events that will like redefine my Cambridge life because of any like racist acts from other people. Honestly, the racism against Asians isn't that bad. Mostly because I guess there's a lot of us here. I think it was mostly during my first term here, Michaelmas term, that I remember people, usually drunk and like slightly older, so I'm not too sure whether they are students, but like you would hear them try to shout or like try to engage with us by shouting like ni hao in that accent, or like ching chong if they're worse. Usually it's from a distance, but I always just treat it as like, oh, they're trying to befriend us in a really bad way. But to each his own. The worst experience I've ever had, or the most racist thing that like a person has actually done, was that when we were at McDonald's, we were just sitting like at a table and like some guy just went up with his phone and like try to take a picture with us because like, oh, it's so unique to see us, even though like you can see so many of us walking around when the tourists come. So yeah, that would be like the worst encounter for me. But then again, nothing really got to a physical level. It's just like it might disturb you from time to time. Like for me, after a while, like it didn't really happen, so I guess I'm one of the fortunate ones. There are students from other ethnic groups that like encounter such situations, but because I'm not one of them, I will not really recount their stories. I will include a link below in the description so you guys can check it out. A lot of it is covered under the student publication in Cambridge. You can read their stories if you're interested, in the description below. So another issue that I want to talk about is the weather here, because I'm an international student and like definitely the weather is very different, especially for a person coming from Southeast Asia when we're near the equator. So I come from a place that is really hot and humid throughout the year. So it's very interesting when you come to a place where it experiences all 4 seasons. To be honest, in your 3 terms here, the seasons are winter, they are borderline winter, and then a mix of spring, summer, and like a little bit of winter at the end. So, but it does kind of make you appreciate the scenery here, because like when the 3rd term comes, Easter term, like it's very nice seeing all the flowers pop by everywhere. Like when you're walking around the street, what used to be like grim trees are starting to flower, and like the bushes have flowers, and everything has colors, and the sky is like cloudy again. Another thing that like I find as an international student very different is that you get to experience 4 o'clock or 10 o'clock sunsets. Right now it's like 7:30 p.m. This is just natural sunlight, so yeah, it's kind of cool, and I really like that because it just makes you feel that like you have a lot of time to do whatever. Moving on, spending habits. So one thing that I think it wasn't emphasized to me enough was how incredibly expensive it is. And like, I know Cambridge is already expensive, that's one issue, but like living in the UK, it's so expensive because I convert from Singapore dollars to the British pounds, and it's just so painful every time. In Singapore, like if I'm thrifty, I can really get by a day with like less than 10 Singapore dollars. That was my budget for me when I was living in Singapore. Coming over here is like, if I want to have 3 meals a day, I have to spend like more than £10 just so that I can feed myself. Approximate exchange rate is around like 2 Singapore dollars to like 1 British pound, so like that's a big issue. So like to me, the value of money has already flown out the window. And like if you're in London, I suppose it's gonna be much worse, cause like you have to cater in rent, cater in just like public transport as well. Everyone bikes or walks here in Cambridge, so thank gosh. One thing that is amazing here that like I really enjoy, which I shouldn't, is like online shopping, cause it's just so therapeutic. Now I finally understand. Like I know there's Taobao and like other sources of like ordering things online back in Asia, but like here it's so easy to buy everything because like you also have free delivery to hit. All the products that you buy come in a few days time, so it's just really efficient and convenient, and free delivery once you hit a certain quota, amazing, and like also free returns as well, amazing. Another way to spend your money is also through traveling, and like being in Europe as an international student, my dad is actually really supportive of me traveling everywhere around like this region. I personally didn't really realize that Europe is like at the center of like the whole map, or like right opposite the Pacific Ocean, so it makes it very convenient to travel. Side point, it also makes it very interesting when like you're walking down the street and like to your right someone's talking in like a language not English, and like to your left someone's talking in a different language that is not English as well. It's kind of cool how the different cultures all like come together in Cambridge. So like you really do see tour groups everywhere, but that's because like tourism here is so cheap, or at least compared to like you flying from Singapore to anywhere. Last but not least, like the Cambridge experience itself, besides the aforementioned that like being an international student would significantly affect you in your uni experience, I think everyone have the opportunities to actually experience the same things here. One point, which is the old buildings here, I don't know whether it's because I'm an international student or not, that causes me to feel this sort of way, but like looking at the old architecture for some of the buildings here in Cambridge, and like also knowing that I'm from a college that began in like around 5 centuries ago, it kind of heightens the gratitude that I actually experience like from time to time, that like, oh my god, I'm still here in this university. And yeah, that kind of makes it really wonderful and like really enjoyable to me, no matter how much I study here. Maybe just one more thing that I want to mention as like a last thing. So like for me, I actually joined the street dance team here in Cambridge. It's something I want to highlight as an international student, because like for our team of around 20 people, like we have 15 different nationalities here. To me, it's like unheard of. All of them are featured in like the beautiful video which I made like a month ago, like it probably here somewhere. Hopefully I can get the link set, if not, it's gonna be nothing. It's just something that I find special because it's just a beautiful way for different people from different backgrounds to come together and celebrate dance. And in theory, that's like how overseas universities are supposed to work, because you want to find out about people who are from different cultures, who just live differently from you. Yep, so I think that's about it. I hope this is enough information for you to get going. If you have any other questions, leave a comment down below, maybe I'll answer them, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Yep, so see you guys. Bye.